Africa is like a beautiful lady, but no brains. You know, you understand whatever meaning. Many people now will tell you my life, my choice, my choice. But remember, even if it's your choice, it affects your environment. We're still claiming about the head and the body, the head of Koitalel Arab Samoei. It is still sitting in a museum in British. They don't want to return it.
Good people, good viewers of the Citizens Mic podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good everything. Hoping that you guys are quite okay, just like us here in the studio. And we are back here for a very important conversation, because the conversations that we hold here, as usual, I keep on telling you that they are conversations that shape narratives. They are conversations that inform decision making, and that is the reason why every other day we are right here, and we are also asking you to keep on pushing this podcast so that many people can get informed and also get to be part of this conversation that we do or we hold right here. So my name is Trisha Wayua, and of course today I am joined by one Matthew. Matthew, habari ya siku nyingi?
Mzuri sana. And I'm very much happy to be back here again.
Yes.
Yeah, again and again. So it's an amazing podcast, and what I always say is that when something is good, do it again and again.
Again and again. That's why we are here. So now to the viewers outside there, I know most of the time people have heard, people talking about Pan-Africanism.
Yeah, sure.
And maybe some of them don't even know what this Pan-Africanism, what really it means. So maybe you can just give us a brief of what is Pan-Africanism, because we have seen people like PLO, Lumumba, they are so vocal on such matters. We have seen other, so many people across
a lot.
Africa.
Many, yeah.
The late Nelson Mandela was also, the Sankara. So many people have really talked about Pan-Africanism, and they fought for this. So maybe to introduce the listeners and the viewers to this conversation, just give us an introduction around that.
Okay, thank you so much again. I'm Matthew K. Samuel. I'm the liaison, a diplomatic liaison officer at Bandang Africa. Also works under the operations sector. So Bandang Africa is a Pan-Africanism organization that originates from Asia, and we are operating in Africa. So Pan-Africanism in simple terms, it's just to name Pan and African. So Pan means like to restore. Yeah, to restore, to defend, to reinstate.
Okay.
When we are talking about reinstating, we are reinstating the dignity, respect, the unity, the values of now Africa. Now that's when the word Pan-Africanism is coming from. Many people confuse it with collaborating, uniting, or doing what about the things to do with Africanism. But call for Pan-Africanism is not about collaborating. We are not requesting. We inquire. Like we seek what belongs to Africa.
Okay.
It's all about restoring the dignity of Africa. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I know as Africans we are quite unique.
Very sure.
Africans are quite unique, and even our continent in itself
it's very
is
much
quite
resourceful.
Unique and so resourceful. So I'm just looking at what Black people can do, which the whites cannot do. Well, I'm not bringing in the aspect of discrimination. I'm just looking at the unique dynamics that we possess, we as Africans. There are some conditions that we can withstand.
Very true.
Which some other people cannot withstand. Other races cannot withstand.
Absolutely.
So those are the things that I'm talking about. In Africa, we have a lot of resources. We have a lot of resources, but to some extent, as Africans, we've not gotten that chance to enjoy those resources that we have as Africans. So is that what Pan-Africanism seeks to restore, to bring into...
Absolutely. That's the exact thing that we always seek, to restore the dignity, to restore the respect, to restore the peace of Africa, to restore that unity. Because initially, Africa was united before the scramble and partition of Africa. Africa was united. No one knew that you are from this region, you are from this tribe, Africa was initially united.
But people used to speak different languages.
Yes, they used to speak different languages, but they used to coordinate, to work together. We couldn't need visa to go to South Africa, to go to Ghana, to go to Nigeria. We could go freely. We could engage, intermingle freely. But now, after scramble and partition, each and every colony came in with their policies. So the only way they could achieve colonizing Africa and making sure that Africa is taken by them is by making sure that Africa is deteriorated, like we are not united again. Now, when that one is achieved, they always say unity is power. So when Africans lost their unity by identifying themselves by their colonies, so that's when now we lost our unity, our dignity, and our resources now started to be escalated now to the outside world.
I even see like in Kenya here, because we were colonized by the British. We say our English is the British English.
Yes.
You go to such places like, is it Congo?
Yeah, Congo.
By the French, is it?
Congo
is by
Belgium.
Belgium.
Absolutely.
So you realize most of the languages we adopted, more likely is what our colonies pushed in us.
Absolutely. So, that's how now a lot of things happen. So now when we are calling for Pan-Africanism, now we are calling for now the restoration, the dignity, and now to make sure that now we protect now our continent, Africa. Not only now protecting it, but even making it more productive, because doing it alone, it can take ages to accomplish. But now when we decide now to bring in different expertise, our fellows from diaspora, other like-minded individuals who are very much passionate about whatever Pan-Africanists are doing, that's when now we can achieve our target.
Okay, I want us to look at this Pan-Africanism in the aspect of restoring now the freedom that we had as Africans, and also in the mirror of the resources that we have as a continent. When we say that we want to get back to the freedoms that we had as Africans, how is modernization affecting that? Or how is good modernization being affected by us going back to the freedoms that we had?
So, there's no any other better way to define a bad rule of law, or trying to give it a good name or a good definition. So modernization is good. We appreciate it, because as life continues to go, everyone needs it.
Yes.
But trying to think that modernization can be an obstacle to achieving Pan-Africanism, it's another different narrative, because even before the Western modernization, Africans could invent, could do their own everything. So when you're talking about modernization, I don't think that modernization can be an effect to Pan-Africanism currently, or restoring the Pan-African or Africans' dignity. But I still accept that there are some aspects or some things that will still contemplate with whatever Pan-Africans are trying to do. For example, the Western rule of law. Like currently the rules that we are using, the regulations, the laws are adopted.
Yes. We adopted them, yes.
Many of them are adopted.
Yeah.
So when we adopt them from outside and are not originated from us, you will tend to get that a lot of policies are put there to do what? To confer the freedom of Pan-Africanists. More so things to do like freedom of speech. You are seeing whatever is happening. Since the ancient days, we used to gather freely, to talk, to negotiate, to interact with different individuals. But currently, you get different nations are coming up with different policies to say you cannot associate, you cannot speak, you cannot say this. They tend to tell you what you are supposed to say. So when that aspect is put there, the activities or the fuel of Pan-Africanists to achieve their goal, it becomes limited. Okay. Another thing is something like visa restrictions. You know, Pan-Africanists, we are not limited or confined only in one state. We are for all Africa. But now you get, this is one of the policies that when one nation marks you, like this person is known to be against our rule of law or against our colony, they put restrictions for you to travel to that nation. If you have the events, if you have the mobilization activities that you want to do there, enlightenment activities, Pan-Africanist activities, you won't do them there. So that's one of the way that I can say modernization affects the activities of Pan-Africanism. But at the same time, we still need it. Things to do like social media, we still need them because they help us to achieve our goals. Like I cannot communicate with the people in diaspora who are very much resourceful to us without
the use of
modernization and technology.
Okay, yeah. So again, from the aspect of human rights, because of course freedom is part of human rights.
Yeah, true.
But then now there are other rights when it comes to humanity that. Personally, I feel that modernization brought them in and is good for us. Like, for example, most of the African cultures, I don't know how to put it, but that there was...
The outdated ones.
The outdated ones. Yeah. So I want to understand that. I want you to make me understand that this Pan-Africanism is not bringing back some of those practices that and traditions that that never upholded that human like equality, such things.
So that's where now one of our pillar is social justice. That's where now it comes, because we are working together with the aspect of human rights, social justice, and rule of law. When we are talking about human rights...
For example, for example, when we talk of an African setup, I don't know, because I'm not an expert, by the way, in Pan-Africanism. Actually, I'm quite interested in it, and I want to learn more and more around Pan-Africanism. And I also believe maybe we have viewers outside there who are also interested to understand and also to participate in making sure that we push this objective. You understand? So I want to understand, because in our cultures, like for example, there are some communities, let's say in our country, that they still practice the female genital mutilation. We have some communities that marry their daughters while they are still young. We have communities that never used to value women per se, to give women that equal opportunity. So I want to understand, where do we draw the line when we say that we want to restore the rights that we had as Africans and so forth?
So we are not restoring all
we are
rights.
Not restoring everything.
We are only restoring the dignity. So when we are talking about the dignity, now we underline the word dignity.
Okay.
The best part of who are Africans.
Okay.
Remember, you have to remember that even before the modernization came in, there are still other people who used to be against these activities. Not even just other people, but great men and women who were fighting very hard to make sure that we stop the social injustice. Social injustice, including things to do with the FGM, things
Early
to do with
marriages.
early marriages.
Yes.
Poverty is one of them.
Yes.
Because even land grabbing, and all those sorts of exhaustion. So when we are talking about restoring, we are only restoring the dignity, the best part of Africa, of African people. And let me just try to tell you one of the things, or try to give you example. For example, things to do with our medicine. Many people have shunned away from our ancient medication system.
Mitishamba.
Yeah, mitishamba. And there's no any other invention that is coming in. Even if someone has it, you are being told it has to be tested. Testing will take years. We are taking it to Brazil to test it. We are taking it to USA to test it. When they test it and they find it is very much resourceful, they now say they have invented it. You are not the one now. So remember that we still, but still, there are those medicine or mitishambas that are not even still good to the health maybe of a human being. So we are just trying to check on which aspects, the better side of our values.
Yes.
Yeah, the better side of our dignity and our resources, to make sure that we protect the human race of African people. But we are totally, things to do, because even in our activities and our schedule, we have been in these camps, we have been in refugees camp, we have been in Maasai community, we have done quite an amazing job there, and we always make sure that the front line of it, we stop the social injustice that is going on in many African communities. But we now restore the African dignity that was taken away by modernization and
somebody talked about us going back to using our mother tongues and so forth.
Absolutely.
That's part of Pan-Africanism also.
Yes.
You don't want us to speak in English. Like, for example, I know where you come from.
Yeah.
You know where I come from.
Yeah.
We are from different tribes. How could we possibly communicate if we did not have this English?
So we are not negating away the part of English, because we realize that's the largely used language.
Yes.
But at the same time, what I can tell you, when we are learning English, or when we are learning how to speak English, even in school, let there be a session of understanding
speaking
our mother tongues. Because after all, we still need our culture, because currently I can tell you, according to our research, 64% of the new generation, young people that are being born, they don't understand even their mother tongue, their ancient language, which is very much risky, because after a few years to come, 50, 70, 100 years to come, other languages will have been forgotten. Because they are not people to continue, to bring that continuation. So we need just to restore. Like,
so you just want, if it is Kikamba, to continue forever and ever.
At least let there be a session of let them allow.
But let me ask you, because some of these there are things that we are pushing, but I see lots of challenges. For example, a student who is schooling here in maybe let's say a school within Nairobi city, so this child is mixing with other students from different regions, people who speak different languages. You realize kuna mtoto kutoka Tanzania.
Sure.
Yeah? Utapata kuna Mduruma pale. Utapata kuna Mluya pale, kuna Mkamba, kuna Mjaruo, wote wako pale. Which mother tongue do you want them to learn?
Of course, maybe you can say now that's another challenge that you're talking about. We are not only thinking about that aspect.
So let's say
they get a chance to to be with their...
Well, it's by the way, because
yeah,
it's somebody, I had one
Yeah.
Pan-Africanist talking about now us restoring back
Yeah.
those languages. But then now I saw the barriers that we will be having.
Yeah, there are a lot of barriers, but still we can achieve it in this different aspect.
Okay.
Because maybe during we can just bring it these sessions, and there are a lot of even the
How about
the means.
Okay. How about there are some cultures from different communities. Like for the Maasai, there is that time when they go through the rite of initiation.
Yeah.
And then there, like the young men are being taught how to be a man. The young women, same.
The same.
When you go like Swahili, unapata kuna time like when a girl is about to get married, kuna mahali huwa wanapelekwa, wanaenda wanazungumziwa na nyanya zao, alafu wanafunzwa jinsi ya
Absolutely.
Yes, when they get into marriage. So what about that, having such things, we just embrace such things whereby our young men are being taught by the elders, the young girls are also being taught by the elders, but then now not really going back to hizo vitu za kitambo.
Sure. You know, whatever we have tried to bring now is incorporating whatever is happening currently in the modern world with whatever was happening in the ancient days. There's some things that cannot go back to exactly how they were used to be.
Used to be done. Okay.
There's a kind of lifestyle that cannot exactly go back to how it used to be, but we can incorporate those values, those basic foundation. Even the, like I can just quote, even the Bible says, teach a child the way
he should go.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he or she will not from it, even at their old age.
That's true.
So it's all about generation to generation. When one generation skips the ladder or the steps on how things are supposed to be, they won't be able to give to the next generation, because you cannot give whatever you don't have. If I didn't go through the same, I will get it very much difficult even to give it to my kids, or to make sure that I input it to my kids. But if you went through the same path, you will get it very much, and there's different ways that will make you to get access to those things. Even you cannot say maybe because my kid is in the city, so they will not, but there's still holidays and all those things. This kid can be taught how they can get to they can get to reconnect with their ancient, with their ancestral arts, their ancient activities. They can get to understand their history. This is why we have museums, we have these things. It's not all about taking your kids to the park, taking your kids to the vacation. Sometimes you take them let them understand the history, let them learn how things were done and how they can be incorporated.
I remember,
world.
when you were growing up, how it used to be interesting when you were seated outside there with your shosh, narrating stories, other things. Okay, some of them, when I sit down and try to remember, I just see that they were just narratives that were being created, maybe to pass a certain message, or to create some fear so that you don't get involved in certain activities that may be harmful to you. So I remember they used to be so sure, it helped. So the other day I was in town. It was around 9 p.m. I was coming from some meeting, and then I'm passing through town, and there's this young girl. I think she should be around 21 there. And I'm telling you, I saw something, and I'm like, oh, that girl was drunk. You hear mtu mwenye amelewa.
Kabisa.
Like she could not even see where she was, just staggering in the midst of the city.
Yeah.
And then I asked myself questions. Oh my God, the parents of this child, they know maybe she's in school.
Yeah.
But here she is strolling in the street.
Absolutely.
So I even doubt whether she got home with her belongings,
phone
whatever
or,
she
yeah,
was carrying.
true.
Yeah, I doubt because ile hali alikuwa, it was so bad. So now this now takes me back again to maybe those things, the culture. The things that we used to be taught.
They were just
because,
basic. Yeah,
those are morals. They instilled some morals in us that you know very well. Because let me ask you, if this is a young girl drinking like this, assuming she becomes a mother still drinking like this, what happens to her children?
Yeah,
to her family.
It goes now to that generation, and this will bring a lot of problems. That's why I'm telling you it is a wider thing. Now it goes to the next stage. It goes to the investment, because I have told you even in our pillars we talk about investment. We are much into that. Now when you are in that state, you cannot be financially stable.
You can't.
You
can't control your finances.
You can't maintain your family.
Yes.
You can't be at peace. There's a quarrel everywhere. So there's some things that we are looking into now. That's the African dignity, because the westernization brought a lot. I cannot say bad thing, but brought a lot of challenges, because many people now will tell you my life, my choice, my choice. Yeah. But remember, even if it's your choice, it affects your environment. So that's what happens to that level, and you won't be able even to make pure or nice decisions that are going to affect your life. This digs deep even into the leadership section. So it's very wide.
It's
wide, when you are
eh?
talking about restoring African dignity, it's very, very wide.
Okay, I see. Of course, to the viewers outside there, we're just laying a foundation, and this is something that we'll keep on talking every now and then, because I think it can help big time. Because the conversations that we are holding here, of course, we are not just talking. We are trying to create an impact in our communities, in our societies, in the administration of the country, in our political environment, just across everything that affects us as humans. And that is why we are having these conversations. So I also want us to look at just to lay a foundation around our resources, the
Good.
African resources.
Good.
I hear people say that Africa is like that bride. Every other groom wants to court her.
To court her.
Yeah, every other person wants to. I'm talking about, when I say other person, I'm talking about continents. We have the Asian continent, we have the Europe. I mean, we have we have America as a continent as well. So every other continent wants to marry Africa, because it is believed that we have resources, and it is true. We have lots of resources. Look at what we have in our country here in Kenya. The minerals that are in our country as we speak right now, we are talking of nenda upande wa coast, nenda Taita Taveta, nenda Kitui, we are talking about this gold that you uko upande wa western, Nyanza. Talk about mafuta ambayo iko kule Turkana. We have a lot of resources, and like you are saying, those people who tried to bring in during that scramble and partitioning of Africa, those people tried to colonize Africans. First of all, they looked at the minerals. True. Apart from now controlling us, they looked also at the resources. And right now we keep on talking about climate change, and some of it being because of the human activities, and especially for those people who invested in our continent. Trying to exploit whatever we had. True. Yeah, so kufikia hapo pali tumefikia. Of course, we are suffering effects of what we have. We have resources, but right now we are going through the effects of the resources that we have. So now maybe you can also lay a foundation around that. So
starting with the resources, let's start with the culture. Number one, we need to return the stolen artifacts back to Africa. Our artifacts that were stolen from Africa, which are sitting in the museum in Britain, in Asian side, they must be returned. in
Okay,
Africa.
what are we talking about exactly? What and what and what? What do you want to be returned?
There's a lot.
For example, just tell Kenyans,
if you go
yes.
to Benin, you'll get the bronze, the Benin bronze, the Queen's and King's bronze. It is sitting in the British Museum. Go to one of the biggest museum in East Africa, in Arusha. You'll get that there are a lot of artifacts. We're still claiming about the head and the body, the head of Koitalel Arap Samoei. It is still sitting in a museum in British. They don't want to return it. Number one, they need to apologize and accept they made a mistake and then return, because we believe, and I can assure you, we believe, and it is true, that our ancestors and the spirit of Africanism, it is still in those artifacts. And when they are returned in Africa, a lot of things can be solved with that. Number two, when the face is beautiful, but the software is not working well, the hardware is the one that gets affected.
Yeah.
Africa is like a beautiful lady, but no brains. You understand whatever I mean. So Africa is resourced, but now the leadership, the leadership is not working. This is when now you realize those who their brains are working are benefiting from the resources in Africa. And the reason why they had to distract before the scramble and partition, they understood how tough Africans are. They could not just come and start mining. They had to contemplate them. They had to make sure that they live in anger and fears because of the bullets, because of the torture, because of the killing. Now from there, they decided now to manipulate and take away the resources. So Africa is resourced. Not only resourced about the minerals, gold, diamond, of course, that's one of the best, but they are even resourced in the skills, manpower, in the how the continent itself has been situated. It is very much resourced. We can have the access to all sunlight. Africa is blessed. We have the all kind of animals in these parks. We are strategically located. So this is why now a lot of countries in Europe are trying to make sure that they can get access to African continent, which is not bad if it's in a good way. But whatever happened, and that's what exactly I started by saying, we need to repatriate the stolen artifacts that were taken from Africa, all of them. I can mention a lot. There's a Benin artifact. There's others was taken from Kenya and not yet returned. I remember we had a meeting with the parliamentary committee about this draft of returning the stolen artifacts that were stolen from Kenya, which we are still trying to follow up and make sure that yes. a lot of things so that we can see on how we can restore the dignity of Africa. But on resources, Africa is very much resourced.
I want us to talk about this brainless, beautiful lady. You are saying Africa is
it's
like
a
beautiful lady who has no brains.
With nothing.
Those are our leaders.
Those are our leaders.
So maybe say something around the leadership of Africa, because
okay, let me just give you an example.
Yes.
Let's talk about the president of Cameroon. He's leading. Who is leading the country? He's not the one. It's Macron leading the country.
Okay.
You see? France are still leading Cameroon through him. You see? When you have the leaders who doesn't understand, who doesn't have brains how Africa should be run.
So are you saying that our leaders should be independent from the influence of the Westerners?
There's still neocolonialism that is happening in Africa. Now, neocolonialism is a state whereby the colonization is not done as it used to be done in our ancient days. We are now being colonized by the system. the systems. We are now being confined by how things are supposed to be. Now, see on how we are, even we talked about the rule of law that you are using. We adopt the rules from our colonies.
We adopted it from somewhere, but of course, when you look at it, I don't think they are bad. A majority of them, except for some just a few elements, of course, which are meant intentionally to be able to put you down.
But who made them?
People.
Who made them?
They are them, of course.
Good. Why could it?
But now, as Africans, like for example, in our constitution here in Kenya, we did that in 2010.
We
remember we did a referendum in 2010.
We
there are still some kuna vipengele mingi zinahitaji marekebisho.
A lot. And I can tell you, and you saw how many people were against it. Big respect to late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga for the fight of that constitution to be brought to work. Because even if people are against it, but you'll realize even now, the current, after that document, after we celebrated it, still there are a lot of things that needs to be changed. You will get to realize a lot of them maybe were revolving to political side, the day-to-day activity. But when we're talking about the socially effects that the rule of law has on people, you'll get to realize there are a lot of loopholes. See how the cases about the marriage are being ruled currently. There are a lot of loopholes. Now you get to realize when it's being ruled, now the law is being amended in court. There are a lot of like how things to do with this customary marriage, this child, this person, the things that are going on in the society. You'll get to realize that there are a lot of things that are still pending. So this is one of the things that we are trying to look into and see on how they can be. They can be.
So
changed.
what are you looking at when you talk about now you are trying to push to see some changes?
We are trying to push in terms of true leadership, more so in Africa. We are very much against the injustices that are going on in many countries in Africa. I remember last year, whatever happened in Tanzania, whatever happened even in Uganda. There's a lot of things that we are very much against. Maybe I won't talk about them even maybe now, but because maybe others are still in process, we are still following up to a lot of things. But I can assure you, the reason why I said we are trying to restore the dignity of Africa, we are doing away with all kind, whether it's political injustice, social injustice, economic injustice against our motherland. Yes.
Well, I think that is a good foundation for Pan-Africanism because we shall continue with this talk because we want to see what will come out of this conversation. We shall have lots of sessions around Pan-Africanism and we see what even us as a country can really adopt to ensure that we restore back that Africanism that is supposed to be in us.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just to let you know, we are not only focused on maybe this that we are operating maybe with the Africans and all those things. We have a quite broad collaboration and engagements with different continents, with different countries, with different embassies. Like the other day we met with the ambassador of Indonesia. You have to remember that it is through this Bandung. The first conference of Bandung happened in 1990s in Asia. Yes. You get to realize through Bandung is when now Asia were able to repatriate their artifacts from Netherlands.
Yeah.
Pia wao walikuwa wameibiwa. Even their artifacts had been taken from Indonesia.
Yes.
Now that's when Indonesia were able to, the Netherlands they now decided to bring back, to give them back there, through our initiatives. Okay. So we still believe and we still try. If that happened, the continents and the countries that are still demanding not only those countries, but as we continue to demand the reparation of our artifacts that were stolen from the continent of Africa will be reparated back. So we have quite broad collaboration from Indonesia, Britain, USA, Germany, France. So we are working together to see on how we can bring this into course.
Well, I'm looking forward to the next conversation around the leadership. I'm quite interested in this beautiful lady without brains of Africa. Yes, because that is where now actually the biggest problem lies. Apart from the things that we have discussed here, I tend to believe that the leadership is what is really failing Africans because, and again, it's because, of course, we are depending on other people. See, most of our African countries, we cannot go for a month without borrowing, going to the Western countries to borrow. So
to beg.
How can
in fact, it's begging.
So they're still, I mean, you can never really be independent if you're depending on somebody.
True.
You are borrowing every now and then. So I think it's a long journey because I believe here in Kenya we borrow. Other countries are also borrowing. Actually, if you look at the list of debts, you look at how much African countries have borrowed from the Western countries, it's quite a lot. Quite a lot. So I think that is where now, if we are talking of real freedom as Africans, that is also something that needs to be looked into.
Yes,
so I think in the next conversation, we are going to talk about this beautiful young girl who is brainless, so that now we see what's the way forward. So up to this moment, thank you so much, Matthew, for coming.
Thank you. Thank
you
so
for
much.
the conversation.
I appreciate it.
Thank you to the dear viewers for taking your time to watch the Citizens Mike podcast. As usual, please keep on pushing Citizens Mike podcast. Make sure that you share the link to this interview. Make sure that if you have not subscribed, please do so that now we can push this conversation ahead. So up to until next time, please take care. My name is Tricia Wayua. Goodbye.